Every so often, Pakistan, China's neighboring country, faces severe locust plagues. During dry seasons, thousands upon thousands of locusts swarm the skies in the southwest, devastating crops and causing chaos for the locals. At one point, someone online suggested dispatching a large group of ducks to eliminate the locusts. Initially seeming absurd, what could ducks do against a locust plague that even experts struggled to contain? Yet, the person backing this proposal presented a case from China's history. 20 years ago, China indeed successfully controlled a locust plague using ducks. In this video, we'll focus on the duck legion and discuss persistent locust plagues, a major locust plague, charge. Duck army. All got chubby? There's an old saying, after heavy rain comes drought, and after drought comes locusts. It encapsulates one of the most dreaded disasters throughout history, especially the locusts' ugly, swarming pests. In China's history, locust plagues have been distressingly frequent. Starting from ancient times, the frequency of locust plagues in the Central Plains increased due to temperature changes. During the Han Dynasty, massive locust disasters occurred about every 8.8 years. However, by the Ming and Qing dynasties, this frequency shortened to 2.6 years. Modern scientific discussions suggest that drought might be a significant cause of locust plagues. In relatively arid regions, locust eggs can survive in compact soil, free from bacteria or parasitic interference. Consequently, locusts have historically thrived in the Central Plains and the Gobi Desert in the northwest, occasionally blanketing the entire Lus Plateau. As technology advanced and human influence grew, locust plagues in the Central Plains and the Lus Plateau dwindled significantly. Yet, Xinjiang, due to geographical factors and economic development, still grapples with locust disasters. As a result, large-scale locust plagues persist there even today. In the 1990s, a massive locust plague struck, a vivid memory for generations of Xinjiang residents. They were well aware of the immense threat it posed to their agricultural work if the locusts weren't swiftly dealt with. Under the guidance of local authorities, households geared up, fetching their pesticides and insecticides, marching into the farmlands to combat these troublesome pests. Before long, on the outskirts of major Xinjiang cities, masses could be seen wielding weapons, spraying chemicals across the fields. However, due to the colossal scale of this locust plague, despite several months of continuous battles, minimal progress was made. Even the urgent deployment of large-scale pest control machinery from the military proved ineffective. By the spring of 2000, the locust devastation persisted, threatening the upcoming planting season, leaving many feeling despondent about the situation. It was precisely then that local biologists suggested a biological solution. This approach involved using the natural enemies of locusts to eradicate them. Among these adversaries, birds, including the chickens and ducks commonly raised by farmers, were significant contenders. After deliberation, the local government decided to employ ducks to eliminate the locusts. The choice of ducks as the weapon against locusts had two main advantages. Firstly, due to their large feet and long necks, ducks could easily disturb locusts feeding on crops and deftly capture them with agility. Secondly, besides capturing locusts, ducks also hunted for their larvae, consuming them and subsequently depositing nutrient-rich feces in the fields, beneficial for post-destruction crop regrowth. Consequently, the Xinjiang government began rallying ducks from the public. Additionally, they sought government assistance, seeking ducks from provinces known for extensive duck farming. Responding to the request, the government promptly scouted several major duck farming provinces in the central and southeastern coastal regions to meet the disaster demands. Eventually, Zhejiang emerged with a comprehensive duck farming industry, abundant water resources, and an excess of ducks. Upon receiving orders from the central authorities, the Zhejiang government immediately initiated the collection of ducks to be sent to Xinjiang. In May 2000, Yang Daiyuan, a prominent duck farmer in Zhejiang, received a call from the Zhejiang Agricultural Sciences Institute requesting a sizable quantity of ducks to support Xinjiang. Yang Daiyuan was chosen for several reasons. Firstly, his scale of duck farming in Zhejiang was top tier, possessing a sufficient number of ducklings. Secondly, the ducks he raised belonged to the Cherry Valley breed, incredibly resilient and capable of swiftly adapting to Xinjiang's arid climate, ensuring the pest eradication plan remained unaffected. Upon learning of the needs in Xinjiang, Yang Dayuan generously donated 10,000 ducklings to the Zhejiang Agricultural Sciences Institute without hesitation. Once these ducklings were acquired, the Zhejiang provincial government swiftly packaged them and arranged for their airlift to Xinjiang, dispatching them to the battleground against the pests. Upon arrival at the Xinjiang farms, these ducks immediately showcased remarkable effectiveness. The ducks, already lusting after high-protein locusts, pounced like tigers descending from the mountains, elongating their necks, opening their mouths wide, and indulging heartily. In just one day, by rough estimates, these 10,000 ducks devoured an average of 150 to 200 locusts each, totaling over 1 million locusts exterminated. Given their social nature, the ducks maintained strict discipline. After leading each squad's head duck away, the others promptly queued up in an orderly fashion to return, minimizing potential harm while in action, easing the worries of local farmers. However, despite the ducks' significant impact, the scale of this locust plague was too immense. Relying solely on 10,000 ducks made it challenging to swiftly eradicate the disaster entirely. Consequently, Zhejiang province promptly borrowed an additional 50,000 ducklings from Yang Dayuan and secured another 40,000 from other major breeding farms. Ultimately, with the initial batch of ducks that arrived in Xinjiang, a massive force of 100,000 ducks was assembled, a formidable army airdropped onto the locust disaster scene. This force divided into 1,000 squads, with 100 duck soldiers deployed to various corners of Xinjiang. Once on the battlefield, these soldiers indeed proved valiant, relentlessly exterminating the rampaging locusts in the disaster zone, even decimating their eggs. Within just over a month, millions of locusts infesting Xinjiang farms had been reduced by more than half. Another month passed, and most locusts had been eliminated, becoming meals for the victorious duck soldiers. With the unique battle concluding triumphantly, the local government withdrew the Duck Legion from the front lines. Subsequently, they reorganized manpower, effectively utilizing pesticides to thoroughly eradicate the remaining, scant population of locusts, thus protecting the local ecological environment. After concluding this mission, due to surplus nutrition, each duck in this army became notably plump. Considering future preventive measures against locust plagues, the government invested again, purchasing half of the ducks from those major breeders in Zhejiang to form a garrison. The other half retired honorably, returning to their hometowns. Indeed, stationing this batch of ducks locally proved to be a highly forward-thinking strategy. With over 50,000 ducks flourishing under local care, their numbers soon surpassed the initial 100,000 duck legion, significantly fortifying Xinjiang's defense against locust plagues. Over the next 20 years, Xinjiang faced 2 more moderately sized locust plagues. Before the locusts could gather, the duck soldiers promptly launched an attack, eradicating them in their infancy. Thanks to the efforts of these duck soldiers, Xinjiang's ecological environment also saw substantial improvement. And thus, the Duck Legion became China's secret weapon in combating locust plagues. This is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. We genuinely appreciate your support.